Welcome back to the NALCS for our final game of the day, Cloud9 versus FlyQuest. Let's take a look at the starting rosters for these sides. Selecting blue is going to be Cloud9. Their top laner is Licorice, their jungler is Svenskeren, mid laner Jensen, bot lane sneaky. This lineup, I've heard it before, but the support is Zeyzal coming in still, formerly the Academy team. Coach Reaper on stage with them as well.
This new up-and-coming Academy AD carry there.
Sneaky, never heard of him before.
Making his debut, but facing them on the red side today is going to be FlyQuest in the top lane, Flame in the jungle, Santorin. Mid laner Keane, bot and support going to be WildTurtle and JayJ with Coach St. Vicious.
Now, in this edition of Cloud9's Wild Roster Ride, we welcome...
We welcome the return of Sneaky.
That's the word.
And he's going to be laning with Zeyzal. So a bit of a change up there. But Sneaky had played 377 consecutive games, the most of any NALCS player. And he still holds that title, but the streak is broken. He has missed the last 6 games. His team is in dead last. And we'll see if this can actually kind of reverse their fortunes a little bit, because C9 has been having fantastic early games, but falling apart in the mid game, falling apart in the late game. And this is a guy who has been the face of the team for so many years and has had so much success with them. They really need some stability right now, and they honestly need to start cranking out wins if they want to have any chance of making it to Worlds.
They're going to need a lot, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in the future. But right now, with all the ruckus around Rift Rebels, viewers may forget that they are facing off a FlyQuest who are actually on a hot streak. Several wins in a row, undefeated with JayJ, I do believe.
Yeah, they've won 3 in a row. I mean, they beat Optic, Golden Guardians, and then Counter Logic Gaming. JayJ was playing very, very well, and Santorin had one of the kind of standout carry performances of the season, honestly, playing incredibly well in the Kha'Zix. He completely took over the game against CLG, was able to really dominate there. And with a win here, they can be in striking distance of first place. They really are kind of moving their way up, and 3 straight wins make it 4 would be very impressive.
Yeah, FlyQuest win. They are tied for third, a single game behind first. Cloud9, as we mentioned, sitting on only a single win. The record I'm looking at for them is at least 9-9. Any team that's made the record 9-9 has not missed playoffs, but that means Cloud9 has to go 8-4 from now. And I mean, not even the best teams in NA right now are going 2-1 win to loss, actually. Those records are closer than that for the most part. So that is a lot of work cut out for Cloud9. I also want to point out, Cloud9 cannot make Worlds if they do not make playoffs this split. They cannot get enough championship points to reach the regional qualifier gauntlet. So this must be a deep run for C9 in the last 2/3 of the split.
And there's really not a lot of time for that to ramp up anymore, right? Like if you have another slow weekend, if it's another 0-2-1-1 weekend,
you're not going.
It's incredibly unlikely, right? You need the kind of run that Cloud9 had in the previous gauntlet. Reverse sweeping all the way. You need everything going your way. But Sneaky, to his credit, has been doing very well, actually, in Academy. So, yes, as much of kind of a meme as that is, he has been performing well there. And the Cloud9 Academy team was actually, first place. They're sitting at the top of the standings. Cloud9 LCS is sitting at the bottom of the standings. They have been doing a lot of Kai'Sa. They've been doing funnel, with a variety of strategies. They did actually a Kayle funnel game as well. And Sneaky, has won all but 1 game, while the LCS roster has lost all but 1 game.
Yeah, they beat Optic, and Optic is right above them at 2 and 5 in the standings. So not maybe a lot of hope right now, but Cloud9 hoping to get the roster that works best for them as we get through the picks and bans at the very beginning of the phase. Bans make a lot of sense. Morgana, the early first pick. This can slot into a funnel. It can slot into standard comps as well. Cloud9, of course, Zeyzal plus the old LCS roster of Spring Split.
Yeah, obviously Morgana can fit in a lot of different ways. I always think Morgana plus Heimer is probably the strongest lane duo, with Heimer there as well. Up there with Fiddlesticks can be really, really powerful, so certainly is potential for that. But Kindred on the table. Santorin going to grab that up for himself. Very strong carry-style jungler. We heard Contracts his thoughts, perhaps the best jungler in the game there. Feeling that he could win any of the jungle matchups. And Kindred is going to be a pretty exciting one for Santorin after seeing how well he performed in the Kha'Zix. If he can have a similar carry performance, this is another champion that really can take over the game. And if paired up with that Galio, you have even more ability to get aggressive, to be invading and stealing away those camps and stealing away those bounties to really scale it faster.
And it's also team fight synergy. You pack up yourself onto the circle, you pop the Lamb's Respite, you time Galio at the right time. Second, you're vulnerable. There's a 2-second long knock-up, couple hundred damage, and you turn the team fight back around your way. Now, Kindred used to be meta a while ago. All those standard knockback kind of picks. Lee Sin in there. Gragas once again picked up here. Though I believe Clutch did not pick up the win when they played their Gragas to try to beat out Kindred. It still looked pretty good. Sven's going to try his hand at this one here.
And we also have to remember that Gragas can also go top lane. We've been seeing it in some of the other regions, actually being played top. One of the most recent buffs actually gave additional auto attack range when you pop your W, which really did increase some of the trading ability that you have if you play up there in the top lane, alongside Grasp and grabbing a Sheen and whatever. Your W auto trading can be very powerful. So I've been seeing some more of that, and it is a bit of a flex pick that we haven't seen in an A. With Pyke coming in, we are now either looking at a funnel or Morgana mid. It could be a farming Morgana. Like, there are still a lot of options, but you're thinking certainly that it is something a bit more atypical here.
Yeah, exactly, because even if you're playing some kind of funnel, Gragas wouldn't be your jungler here, so definitely looking something a little bit non-standard, a little bit spicier for Cloud9. The Braum going to be picked up here as a support matchup, seemingly to counterpick the Pyke down at the bottom, flexible as that might end up being. I want to point out, actually, that when we were doing the Collegiate Championships before LCS started, I was actually talking with JayJ and his coach when it was the FlyQuest Academy coach, Inver, and he said that JayJ is the best Pyke in Academy. Now, this was pre-split, of course, kind of earlier on, but kind of adamant about the fact that JayJ was a super, super good Pyke. So the pickup here for Cloud9, somewhat of a takeaway.
Yeah.
Either way, it's going to be a third unique champion in 3 games for JayJ at support.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. I mean, if it's a more standard look at the comp, then you say, okay, well, Pyke is support, Gragas is jungle, Morgana is mid, and then you pick a marksman, you pick whatever you want for Licorice, and they have a relatively standard comp. But it could be Pyke Morgana bot. It could be Sneaky or Jensen playing that. You could still be seeing some sort of a marksman mid. If you're looking at a marksman mid as an answer into the Galio, we have seen both Corki and Lucian be fairly effective in the past in that 1v1. That could be played by either Jensen or Sneaky. So there's a lot of flexibility here. And because FlyQuest haven't actually seen this specific lineup really playing on stage, you don't know exactly what to expect, where everything is going to go either, which does make it more difficult in draft.
Yeah, Sneaky had been receiving a fair bit of funnels while playing on C9 Academies. You can see a lot of the hyper carries coming out, the Yasuo, the Talon. Talon, of course, a pretty famous self-funneler here. We've seen that a couple of times throughout professional play this week, and it's time for the final couple of picks here. Darius banned away, Heimer banned away, Darius potentially counterpick to a Dr. Mundo that could be coming through. Waiting to see as that has not yet been banned. Lucian, the hover, and that could be going to the bot lane for WildTurtle. Lucian Braum, a very, very strong bottom lane, can bully almost anything.
And it's funny to see, but every time you see Braum now, you're expecting funnel, but this is actually just Lucian Braum bot lane. Heading down there, likely going to be the Galio mid. Kindred in the jungle, and they are saving their counter pick here for Flames, so C9 going to have to round out their roster. Looking like Mundo top lane, but with Darius, already taken off the table, one of kind of the traditional really strong matchups into it. We have been seeing people playing things like the Gnar. There is more of the extreme counters, things like Fiora can be very, very effective if you want to go that route. We'll see what the final pick is going to be here. If it is going to be Morgana mid, if it's going to be a farming Morgana bot.
Jensen champion as well, as it's Reaper hovering over his shoulder, talking about what the matchups you might want to have, and we have seen things like Fiora into Galio mid lane before, but now hovering on Orianna, a more standard mage. Sneaky could make his LCS Summer Split debut on Morgana, it looks like, as Ori, a tried and true Jensen champion, will be locked in for him.
Yeah, it is going to be the Sneaky Morgana bot. One of the kind of concerns I have here, though, for the Cloud9 composition is, while you do have very good combos and kind of team fighting, you're all magic, right? And that does essentially allow your opponents to itemize very, very efficiently, whether it's Hex Drinkers, whether it's stacking MR. If I'm actually Keane this game, I forego full AP Galio and I just stack MR. You have your Jarvan perhaps go something like Titanic into full MR, and you just start to build for efficiencies, allow most of the damage to come through from Santorin and WildTurtle, because that is really something that Cloud9 has opened themselves up to. No true physical damage source here. You can argue Pyke, but I mean, it's not going to be the one to kill a full arm, MR stacking Galio.
Sure, yep, absolutely the case here. Dr. Mundo going to have a fun time potentially running around here as Jarvan once again picked up in the top lane as the matchup against him. Lineups on your screen right here. Cloud9 versus FlyQuest as these two coaches shake hands and head off stage. This will be a fun one to watch for. They finally brought Sneaky back into the lineup in his very first game in Summer Split, is back onto a sort of traditional mage. The Morgana grabbed for him. They say Sneaky's best in instead of Golden Glue. 0 marksman bans against him from what I can remember, and he's on a mage anyway.
It's pretty funny when you think about it, right? It's like, why bring Sneaky back if you are just going to do it for the Morgana? You know, Golden Glue has been performing fairly well.
Sure, yeah.
Was expecting marksman, is that it really has been what he's playing, you know, kind of those hyper carry marksmen in Academy, but we're going to find out how well he is going to be able to perform. Certainly, you know, we heard the discussion on the desk about like how many games do you need to actually master a Heimer or whatever. You know, Afro offered up 50.
Yeah.
Morgana, I think, is more simple.
12.
3.
Okay.
Touché. You know, well, to be fair, you see a guy like Hakuo, and they're like, okay, maybe it's more.
Maybe it's more than 12.
But Sneaky is a guy who is a solo queue spammer. He is a guy who is always in there, who is grinding games, and you expect to have put in the time on a pick he's bringing to the LCS stage.
Absolutely the case here. So we are into this one, and Sneaky actually already revealed to us that he learned Sanguine Pool at level 1, so invades will not be strong for him regardless, going for lane push instead.
He's playing Vladimir?
Yeah, the double F special, push the lane. Shout out the competing chants for the audience, by the way. You guys are absolutely amazing. Once again, you can lolesports.com/tickets. You can be part of the chants if we can hear you.
Freak,
Anyway.
if you find him, he's contractually obligated to say a pun to you.
That's not true.
It is.
That is a false
It's
statement.
true. You can ask anyone on the
Yeah,
broadcast.
Zeyzal is a liar. I thought Canadians weren't allowed
He
to
must
lie.
do it. So if you find him, ask him for a pun. It comes with for the price of the ticket.
And I'll say no thanks. I don't do puns on demand. It's not me. They've got to be
Exactly,
cringy and
exactly you.
extemporaneous. Either way, we are playing League of Legends here, and minions have met in the mid lane. Which do you think will die first, a blue or red minion? Put your votes in chat. Hashtag blue die, hashtag red die.
It's looking like red, man.
Uh-oh. He stopped autoing. It's close.
Oh.
Oh, thank you, Observer, by the way. I love you. All right, we are into this one. FlyQuest winning the minion game so far, 3-2 in CS. Sven's going to grab himself the red buff and continue on his merry way. Looking for the Kindred marks. The Scuttle's going to Scuttle Crab's going to spawn very soon.
I like crab is the verb there. The scuttle is going
The
to
Scuttle's
crab.
going to crab.
Yeah.
Man, I suck at talking. It's really annoying.
No, I think that's great. You may have just coined something.
All right, here we go. Sneaky, almost getting stunned, but not quite just yet. Pyke throws the Q in towards WildTurtle.
Pretty cool actually seeing WildTurtle level up the E there at level 1, trying to actually dash in aggressively instead of going for the more traditional Q. If you can actually get the tag there from Braum, you can just get right up in Morgana's face, and Morgana with a pool at level 1 really has no way to actually trade back and fight you if that pool is already on cooldown. So I think a cool little adaptation there from Turtle. Not going to be that big of a difference, but is neat.
Well, temporarily a brief one camp lead as Santorin knocks down bottom Scuttle and gets the mark as that one. And back to his own jungles, they're going to keep farming.
Yeah, and we get to see that little side pop there. Flame, obviously a very experienced, very successful Jarvan player. We did not actually see the matchup working out that well for Dokla, despite the fact that Acadian did get him quite ahead. I'm going to be interested to see how this goes for Flame versus Licorice. Can Flame actually make this pick work? And this is a discussion we were kind of having off camera afterwards. You know, how good of a pick is Jarvan into Mundo? And you know, this is another opportunity to kind of see, can you actually establish and maintain more of an advantage?
Yeah, pulls him back in as well. Not quite the stun, though. Doesn't get pulled far enough for the E to get any follow-up, but Zeyzal got a little bit going through right there. Early push does go so far to FlyQuest side, and last hitting on a turret can be very hard for Morgana.
Yeah.
Attack animation kind of sucks. Attempted
Ooh,
mid lane
big
gank.
check.
Jensen's going to face check into this one. The knockups could be really good. No taunt flash or anything, but Jensen still down flash as a result.
Yeah, nice force there, and it didn't cost them really anything. So just a little bit of time coming out from Santorin, and that's got to be frustrating for Jensen, kind of the anti-timing. Walks over to the ward the bush as Santorin is already in it. Going to be rewarded with a summoner, and we'll see how proactive Santorin is going to be able to be on this champion. Again, 4 marks, really what you're looking for. He did get one off the early Scuttle, so he already has one. And this is kind of just a repeat of the earlier game that we had with actually Lyra idling the Gragas, where he was kind of very slow about the early game, didn't actually make any proactive plays for quite a lot of time. So I also want to see, is Svenskeren going to do a better job in the early game? Is he going to be out there looking for ganks? Because Gragas does have a very strong couple early levels and very strong gank potential.
We'll see what we find. That's the mid lane and the bot lane. Kind of go back to a more normal state. A farm lead for Jensen currently. Always been an amazing lane in the NALCS. His very first game notwithstanding. Otherwise, yeah, shoving in right there. And Sven going to be butting heads with Santorin. They've both recalled, both have upgraded smites. Santorin red and Svenskeren blue, fitting in the color scheme of his champion. Same for the other side as Zeyzal forced to run away, and WildTurtle getting some pretty good poke down here, and again, up quite a bit of farm in this lane right now. I gotta say, this Lucian Braum is bullying so far.
Yeah, and Sneaky is pretty low on mana. Like, he's actually having to spend a lot of this mana to try to keep the wave pushed out. But it looks like Turtle and JayJ will go back to base and kind of try to use that time to reset. But he did cancel his base. I don't know if he was actually expecting that hook to come through and actually get him. Either way, the lane will be reset to even. No kind of minion wave advantage for either side. And Santorin up to the top lane.
Damn sets are in for the champion. Santorin's actually spotted by this ward. Licorice, I think, trying to feign that he doesn't know, or...
He wants the bounty, really.
Yeah, but yeah, by him walking down, actually kind of zones away, and Sven able to deny this. So I believe we are still stuck with only the one bounty on Kindred. That is indeed true. Not going to get number 2 just yet, and we'll see if a gank comes through. Currently, the mark is on this Gragas.
And Jarvan actually used his flag, so you could actually potentially force a flash here. He can't flag and drag away.
Quite low, good damage. Body slam flash, he's got the full combo. No way out, and Flame snuffed out.
A beautiful gank there by Svenskeren, but what is Flame thinking? Using your flag offensively or even the last hit? They saw that Gragas was there. They saw that he was over by that scuttle. Santorin actually watched down, and yeah, with your flag down, you have to pre-flash. That's your only hope. You have to just respect the fact that the flash could be coming, and your only way out is actually flashing preemptively.
Yeah.
Either way, yeah, misplay there from Flame. Flag and drag is down, means he's an easy kill.
At least is on Tiamat and TP's back to lane, so it doesn't miss terribly much. But now another attempt down to the mid lane, and of course he's flashless. The combo is going to be a lot. Shockwave buys a second, but not nearly enough. A kill in for Santorin.
Very nicely done there from Keane and Santorin. Double flash committed. They know Jensen was already down the flash, and despite the fact that he has cleanse for the taunt, you can see Keane was already layering the Justice Punch to knock him up immediately after that. You have the slow coming in from Santorin as well. And that was honestly just a very well-executed gank, and Santorin trying to get aggressive now, trying to take some of this jungle away.
And Sven going to be face checked in, going to find a barrel for slow. Zeyzal far, not going to be able to join in for much. Gragas is here for a buff steal.
No smite on Kindred, no smite on Gragas.
Yeah, it's going to be hard getting a steal regardless. Pulls it out of the brush. Nicely picked up. Red over to the marksman in the bottom lane. Sorry, in the jungle. That's going to be pretty much optimal there. And FlyQuest off to a pretty decent start. However, gold lead is with Cloud9 by 300.
Yeah, so here this is one more time. They know he has cleanse. They know he does not have flash. Taunt flash. Justice Punch immediately. And notice how Keane actually did it backwards.
Yeah.
That is actually really intelligent because you slide backwards and then the punch, the CC, is actually going to go off immediately at the start of the kind of shuffle, for lack of a better word, instead of at the end. So it gives Jensen less time to actually sidestep or react at all. And we know Jensen is famous for being so good at that little kind of mini dodge style game.
Big damage there. Black Shield on keep him okay. And that's going to be a stun almost in turret range. 20 units. He might have gotten a couple of turret shots there, but Zeyzal, yeah, Q into E, pulls him backwards into the stun. Pretty nice play there. Sneaky keeping his teammate alive, but FlyQuest still good in this bottom lane. 75 to 58 in farm. Yes, they'll get some of it. They'll, you know, answer back closely enough, but really nice stuff out of the FlyQuest duo down there. Up 14 as the wave resets.
And they're putting on a lot of pressure, which kind of allows Santorin to do those sorts of invades where he steals away the red. They kill mid. They have Galio to answer with the ultimate if they need it. And you know, so far, Santorin hasn't gotten too lucky with actually the mark spawns. He did get his original scuttle, but then Svenskeren has been there to kind of knock away some of those next bounties and make sure that he's not getting too many too quickly. But it definitely had a very even game overall.
Yep. 200 gold apart right now as control wards and vision in general being fought over. Look at the individual marks right here, and it is Licorice up in gold right now. First blood, the assist will do that for you. The farm actually up 7 for him as well, so that's pretty nice, but you are seeing some bigger differences in the bot lane, especially as big farm for Lucian puts him ahead.
Nice pink ward, going to spot out this potential gank, as C9 was looking to try to make a 3-man mid-style play, but Keane has spotted that out. The vision being gone now is kind of prompting JayJ to perhaps move up and look to see if he can get any wards, but it is a bit of a scary prospect until you at least see the Gragas or you see the Pyke, someone on the map.
Yeah, those two were spotted killing the ward, but of course they did dip back out, nothing to be seen anymore. Still the 300, 200 gold difference is once again we look at the bottom side, and it's mostly just Sneaky trying to stay alive. The mana pool a little bit low. Actually rushing for Sork Shoes, going for a more bursty sort of build, hoping he maybe one-shot Lucian with a flash ult. But that's kind of a more unusual build. He's not rushing a Lost Chapter or a Rod of Ages or something that would be giving you more mana sustain. It is actually raw damage.
Yeah, looking for that flash magic defend, as you said. It also does give you the ability to perhaps dodge out on some of those skill shots, sidestep a Braum Q or something along those lines.
Fair to say cooldown boots, right? That would be also move speed, but a different look for the champion. So interesting to see that. I think that's a respectable build. It's just a different, slight take on Morgana as a champion. Either way, pretty much a painless take on this mountain. Drake picked up no problem. Santorin grabbing that one for the squad. Keane with the blue buff pretty safe as well, and going to keep shoving in this lane, though Jensen, despite the death, still out farming.
Yeah, and worth noting that Jensen also took the time to roam all the way up to top lane, tried to threaten and dive on the flame, so they have been trying to keep the pressure on there to allow Licorice to kind of scale up, and now moving for a potential 4-man bot. Galio is in ultimate range, so C9 gonna have to respect that.
You broken down, Black Shield, the knock-up there. Flash gonna get him out of Galio, but they're still gonna find Gragas for a bit on this one. JayJ pulled back in a little bit, but the damage is still gonna be there. Santorin finally cashes in the mark. Nice attempt by JayJ. Flash Q not gonna land. Now with Ignite on, he could be killed off. Auto's coming
Here's
through.
Mundo.
Here comes Licorice, a stopwatch to buy a few seconds. WildTurtle pushes down the wave, and JayJ gonna be executed. Death from below, and Santorin's health bar is injured. He's gonna get the ulti on. This could be an easy pickup. Looks for the stun. Here comes the ulti, gets the shutdown for 50. 2 kills in for the support Pyke.
Yeah, 2 kills there, both with the ultimate, so that essentially is 4 kills worth of gold for C9 with that ultimate, cashing in multiple kills. And Jarvan pushing up here on the top side. Flame deciding not to match the teleport there, despite the fact they had the early advantage on the fight, and it may have been a miscalculation. Perhaps could have tried to turn that around a little bit. Either way, C9 defends well and definitely comes out ahead in the gold. Here it is one more time. WildTurtle, nice culling to actually chunk Sneaky very, very low. And then they have Galio moving down. They're looking for the play onto Morgana. That was actually really well done by JayJ, immediately knocking out the Black Shield with the Q, then following up with the ultimate, but they don't have quite enough damage to finish off Sneaky. And as Mundo comes in, JayJ whiffs on that. And we can see Zeyzal still having the ultimate available, able to flash forward, finish off JayJ, has the death from the below. And I mean, Santorin moving in at that point, I think, was kind of misunderstanding the situation. It feels like he needed to have been gone by then, needed to have retreated. With your teleport not being matched from the top side, you're going to be down members.
I want to point out that Jensen actually got the extra kill gold on the second death from below, plus 300 to him. He got the your cut item there, so Jensen, despite the assist, actually more than 300 gold richer. And those all stack up together.
Galio coming.
This could be a scary play. Stuns not going to land, but the binding certainly will, and there's nothing that Keane can do about that one. TP does nothing except, though, give them control on this turret, and FlyQuest can still play for first turret, and they're likely to get it here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, double marksman. You're going to be able to knock this down very, very quickly, and they're going to give solo gold over to WildTurtle, so they really want this Lucian to get off to a really strong start. He's already about 30 CS up. He also is going to have that first turret gold, so he's 1K ahead of Sneaky right now, and they have been bullying this lane. They're putting more pressure on Sneaky, investing their resources down here onto the Lucian, and both the Lucian and this Kindred have kind of been the recipient of most of that gold, so they're in a pretty good spot, but C9 looking to press on the top side.
That's going to be a turret traded out. Of course, Licorice got some decent damage, been landing pretty well, but Jensen, of course, a bit late to the party, does not mean first turret gold. Still an answer in overall objectives. 1,400 gold, the lead for Cloud9 in this game. 2 camp lead as Svenskeren knocks down this Gromp on the left-hand side, temporarily up a level over Santorin as well. Quick check on the marks, and Kindred still only at 2. The Scuttle at level 2, and that Gragas kill a little while ago, but otherwise sitting on a pretty low number of Kindred stacks.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at this Rift Herald, though, which could help them. Let's kind of unlock, that mid lane or top lane, trying to look to knock down another turret, and they have lane swap Lucian up to top. Looks like Sneaky's going for the recall to try to actually match this and be able to clear that out. C9 definitely want to try to hold on to these turrets as long as possible and not allow this double marksman composition to really get rolling.
Alrighty, so Herald picked up, could mean more good things for FlyQuest. Interestingly, coming into the week, Cloud9 was the second best early game team in all of LCS, and FlyQuest were actually dead last in general metrics, looking at sort of chance to win based on the first 15 minutes. As you crest that mark, this game a bit closer than 2 versus 10 would expect for you. So FlyQuest showing up some weaknesses, but Cloud9's big test is shoring up their mid game. Despite being the second best early game team in NA, they are the absolute worst at winning games, and it's going to be a kill found out as Pyke drops Zeyzal's kill credits. Turn back around, 450 gold going over to the killer now as mid lane outer also falls. FlyQuest getting a lot on this.
Yeah, and trying to get that next charge, they won't be able to do it. The bounty does spawn at a pretty nice location for Santorin, so he should be able to get up to number 3 here. Just needs one more to really cash in on that extra range. Sneaky was pushing up on the top side, but it's going to be pressure for FlyQuest across the map off of that kill.
Ooh, that could be a big thing. The flag is down for several more seconds. The first cleaver hit as well, so Flame's running out of HP. Will that flag and drag about now. Gets over the wall, but losing 2/3 of his health in the process.
Yeah, getting bullied pretty heavily. So again, the Jarvan not really working out for him. Gets ganked early. Pressure again put up on the top side there by Jensen. And Flame never really got going in this 1v1. Here it is one more time. JayJ on the control ward. Zeyzal face checks. Nice Q into the ultimate follow-up. And proc that stun so fast with Lucian the double tap passive. So gonna be able to knock down a turret, get a shutdown. It's too bad it didn't go over onto the Lucian though, as certainly would have liked to see that gold go Turtle's way.
Yeah, with the new bounties coming in, the extra pool is not shared in assists at all. It's only straight to the killer, so 450 onto, I believe, Braum. Yeah, not the optimal recipient, but at least he'll get closer to Knight's Vow later on. And
you can see already how much these guys are going to be looking towards some MR, right? There's already 3 Merc Treads completed on FlyQuest's side. You already have, the Merc Treads being built up for Santorin. He has a Hex Drinker. JayJ gonna have to make a run for it.
He's gonna try. He's gonna look for a teammate to jump to. Turtle is there and says, okay, thank you very much. Over the wall I go.
But these are the efficiencies that are gonna be kind of the advantage of FlyQuest, because while they're tied in gold, their gold is kind of going further because it's all magic resist. So every time you buy up that MR, you're getting additional value out of it. But fight around Dragon here is potential, and Jarvan on the side looking for a flank.
Knockback looking for the smite fight. Nicely picked up. Svenskeren grabs that one, jumps right back out. Mountain Drake shaded one from, but Keane wants the taunt. Not going to get on his Zeyzal though. Out he goes. Big goes back and forth, and now pull back. And with after shotgun cooldown, could have gone for a play, but they're not going to go for damage on a Keane. He's able to walk away cleanly enough. So a nice pickup by Cloud9. The game equal in gold for the most part. 500 separates the two. And not very much. Cloud9 hoping to improve in their standings here, get out of last place.
Yeah, and the Mountain Dragon apiece. Very even game. You do have to wonder, though, if you look at the scaling, I certainly think it's going in the favor of FlyQuest, so you want Cloud9 to be proactive. I mean, this is a team with double marksmen. They should be outscaling as far as the Lucian versus the Morgana. You should be outscaling as far as Kindred versus the Gragas, and you also have the added advantage of playing against a full magic resistance team. That is really kind of the fear now for Cloud9. You have to be proactive, but despite the fact that there are efficiencies and perhaps on-paper advantages, Cloud9 certainly has the potential to find that perfect body slam flash with the shockwave follow-up, bindings and all sorts of picks and kind of playmaking that their comp kind of better lends itself to. But, that being said, Kindred and Galio are 2 of the best defensive options to kind of shut down those picks.
Totally agree. This could be very hard to make any of these dives and whatnot happen. There's not even that much surprising damage from Cloud9. Like, you do have Riddick Echo's Gragas and a Shockwave. It's not terrible, but if Kindred's there, if Galio's there, good luck making anything happen. Cloud9 going to still hope to make this go forward for them. I kind of agree with you, and in my mind, the scaling advantage does go FlyQuest way.
But execution has been so big, right? And you talked about kind of the strength of the early game teams. Cloud9 has been one of the best early game teams in the league, but it has not resulted in wins whatsoever. It's around this time in the game that they have actually been one of the worst teams in the league. Despite often having advantages, they're not able to actually continue to snowball those advantages, to take them to the right places, to extend and win team fights. And they do have an edge, it feels like, right now in the side lane, with Licorice kind of starting to win that 1v1 against Flame. And that may be where they're looking to kind of buy some time and just have a tremendous amount of wave clear between the Morgana, the Orianna, and Gragas, and that's certainly something you can do. And then it's up to FlyQuest to really pressure around objectives and kind of draw C9 in.
They're going to hope Zeyzal goes for the Q. Not going to find JayJ, though. Could have been a nice target. The binding would have followed up pretty easily. Maybe they burn him down. But no such luck here. Blue have to be handed over to Jensen. Shouldn't be an issue. No one's in range to steal. Auto attack comes in, claims that. But FlyQuest now able to start setting up for the soon-to-spawn Baron Nashor. Only over a minute to go. Top lane under siege as well. Wave's not dead and missing most cooldowns. Means Turtle's not too afraid, and that turret's down to 25% health. FlyQuest, again, can continue to play for wards down here. Cloud9 have only Fog of War in this Northern River. Will take them some time to get that vision back.
Yeah, and as far as kind of what I was talking about in champ select, misses on the flag, and we'll take some damage on the way out. But Keane is building more heavily towards kind of a standard AP Galio build, looking like he's going for the Morello, and they're going in.
The chance for the play, a nice knockback though. They could burn down Flame, but Galio shows up and Kindred making this one a bit helpful as well. Licorice in the back line, still going for the kill. He's going to find that one. Cloud9 1 for 0. Santorin running away. It's a 2-kill pickup so far, and now Keane forced to run. And Sneaky gets the ult to land from Morgana. No bind to get in, though. Top buys a couple seconds, but not nearly enough. 3 straight kills. Cloud9 come out ahead.
Yeah, nicely done there from Cloud9. FlyQuest go for the engage, but they botched it pretty heavily. And Flame gets burst down before anything really happens. The Galio ultimate and the Kindred ultimate are completely overlapped, and a nice fight there from Cloud9 means a couple kills go their way, and they do open up the lead that much more. So here it is one more time. It looks like FlyQuest just want to straight up engage, but Flame just gets knocked away. He's trying to walk in, I think, an ult on top of Jensen, but he's trying to walk through multiple members, and then the Kindred ult overlapped with the Galio ult means you get very little effectiveness from that. You want to, as you pointed out earlier, drop the Kindred ult, wait until that's expiring, the Galio ultimate comes through and actually knocks them up, you taunt them all out of that, and you can kind of burst them down.
Yeah.
But definitely some poor execution there from FlyQuest. They had the idea to engage, but certainly did not execute.
Yeah, comp feels unpracticed, right? They both used their save me ultimates at the same time, when that is not the way it's supposed to go. You actually even saw the Jarvan Flame walk off the heal portion of Lamb's Respite, didn't get that extra 100 to 200 health, and made it an easier kill chase down to Mundo.
And that also speaks a lot to communication, right? The Flame obviously is a Korean player, Santorin is an English player. Flame has been in NA for a while and certainly has been working on his English, but sometimes, teams still do have trouble with the communication, and we'll see. Is that an issue for this team going forward, or can they clean that up? Because oftentimes, with these abilities that have to be used so quickly on reaction, you have to pre-plan who is going to be first. If you are both there, okay, Galio always ult second, Kindred has to ult first, and then you kind of have to give that trust over your teammate that they will do it, because the heat of the moment calls can be difficult and lead to both people popping them at the same time.
Absolutely. So a misplay there, but not an insurmountable disadvantage. FlyQuest going to suffer through their 2,500 gold deficit. The Cloud9 have fallen with greater leads before. Very, very quickly, this can turn around, and FlyQuest sitting on 3-3 again. With a win, they tie 3rd place, which is one of the best they've ever been in North America. It certainly has been a better split for them. They're looking for the chase on to Licorice. Just calling, making this a bit easier. The flash Q, they get the ultimate. They're going to get that stun, and they're still burning him down. And Licorice is not healing enough. The ult has timed out. He will not win this duel, but they need another slow, though, as he's running away for this one. Q's going to come across. One more shot. No, a great cleaver. Licorice is running. The flash forward. WildTurtle knew it all along. Gets the kill, picked up the 2-on-1 victory for FlyQuest.
Took him a long time to burn him down, but now it's C9's time to make a play on the other side of the map. They're going to look for Keane.
Gets found out, pulled back in. Explosive cast, I believe, was a miss, but still a lot of damage and nowhere to really go on this one, but still good trade damage back on Sven. And nice. Oh, the shockwave pulled him out. And they're not going to get away with this one. A good kill picked up, 7-4. Cloud9 answering the top side. Yeah,
it is. Turtle still splitting on the bottom side of the map. We'll see if he actually goes back. He will now. Cloud9 are able to get a kill back. Close one is that Cask, I believe, actually missed on Keane, didn't knock him further in. It looked like Santorin might have been able to save him with the Kindred ultimate, but not quite able to do it. Either way, it's C9 who reset on the map, and it's FlyQuest grabbing up a dragon. Gold lead still a bit above that 2.5K. But a very even game, all things considered.
Well, that's going to be picked up right there. Mountain Drake, number 2 for FlyQuest. Cloud9 got one because of a great smite steal from Sven. That was contestable, though. Santorin, it could have so easily been Triple Mountain. It could have so easily been Baron rushable for FlyQuest. Of course, still pretty good on double, of course.
Yep, here it is one more time. Keane face check the hook in at the same time as the cast. So a little bit off there, but Santorin looking for the Kindred ultimate. Ooh, no, it's just straight up late. That's actually just late, I think. Perhaps he gets pulled out either way.
Yeah, I mean, Shockwave pulled him off of the respite, right? It was on the other side of him, so.
Nicely done by Jensen. Straight into that death from below by Zeyzal, and going to be able to pick up a kill there. Trying to control vision now. There's an ult into the Braum shield, which actually
time out the
E.
Yeah, it's a guaranteed knock backwards. You can actually never do that through Braum, unless you can kind of get it around him, and that's kind of hard. Maybe if you learn how to do things like the World Cup, you kind of curve it around the keeper and you get it into the net, but only Diana really gets to do that one. Yeah, maybe some Sivir mechanics, but not here, not now, but a nice try. Denmark, sadly, didn't go all that far in the World Cup. That's okay. Zeyzal waiting around in the wings, sitting, waiting for something. Vision around the Baron pit, of course, quite good for them. Baron is alive, and again, they have to be so afraid of FlyQuest with double marksman. Blade of the Ruin King on this Lucian. Double Mountain, they have a great Baron attempt available. Cloud9 much slower.
And Turtle is the highest gold in the game. I mean, unfortunately for Flame, he is actually falling very far behind the Mundo in that 1v1. And, you know, honestly, I just personally like a Titanic Rush more than Black Cleaver. If you cannot straight up kill the Mundo 1v1, Black Cleaver is doing very little for you, where at the very least Titanic lets you instantly clear a wave with your Q plus Titanic active, and that allows you to very easily protect your turret. So, you know, if you are just going to play it as this kind of tanky style build and you can't actually bully anyone, I'd rather just see a Titanic Rush into tank or even a Black Cleaver second. But, you know, Flame certainly has not been very effective at all on the Jarvan, and wasn't very effective at all either for Dokla earlier, and Mundos have been getting much better of the exchanges and do kind of just get better and better as the game goes on.
So Flame stepping up a little bit, trying to find the play. Licorice in the wings as well, looking for some cleavers to land. He'll hit that one, no problem. But Flame, flag, and drag out. Sneaky sitting on still. The stopwatch has yet to burn it, so no Zhonya's till he needs it. Can rely on the consumable version of that active, but going for the flat pen build, the same that Jensen's going for. So it's anti-squishy, but there's a Braum in the way to intercept much of the damage, and otherwise it's several high MR tanks in their faces regardless. Merc treads on literally all 5, and that diminishes what flat pen is worth. A nice flash to pull him back in. WildTurtle no longer has the TP available. His teleports now come through to make more of this happen. Sneaky can land the preemptive Q, and they're going to try to find Flame and WildTurtle with a double ult. Here comes Galio to the mix and lands one, but Turtle is still going to be going down. This could be a catastrophe, but who's it going to be for, though? As Sneaky does get traded back out and had already burned the stopwatch. Double kill, though, for Mundo. This is going a bit better for Cloud9. They are 4v3, looking for the chase. JayJ does not have flash, does not have a way out. He is going to die for this one. And Death Row from low will not be cast. Jensen grabs himself the kill. 3-1 Cloud9. Jungler still alive and does have Smite. This could be the play next.
Should be their Baron, but I mean, Licorice for now is continuing to chase, and really shocked to see FlyQuest actually commit to trying to salvage that play when the rest of the team can't actually join, right? The Santorin and Flame were so far away. Flame TP's in, Keane is trying to join. Everyone is running from across the map and TPing themselves into such an odd number fight. It's going to be up to Santorin to steal this. Does have the Kindred ult too to try to use.
Well, Chakra's going to go for him early. Pop slams his fight, and they can just stop damage until he actually goes down for real on top of the wall. Oh, that was a super sick pull. I think Zeyzal guaranteed that one. That was amazing. Now Flame back in the mix, but there's no Smite to stop it. Jensen grabs it anyway. The Baron plus the kill, and Cloud9 get out cleanly, but Zeyzal was a freaking superhero there.
Yeah, nicely done there by Zeyzal. They're going over the wall. They do take out Santorin. Guaranteeing the Smite goes their way, and Cloud9 pick up the Baron. They're looking solid in this one against FlyQuest, and FlyQuest feeling like they're committing to the wrong plays. And this is after all the aftermath is mostly decided by this point, but here it is again. They have the ward on Santorin. They know he is going to be looking for this play, and
Q ult from Jensen right here.
The hook
the pull first.
Pulls him right into the body slam, shockwave. Nice combo there, and once you're in that ultimate, there's not really any way to get out from Zeyzal. That was just sick.
He is that good.
That was so clean from Zeyzal. Gets away from Flame as well, and Cloud9 really just getting everything.
Beautiful stuff there, Bunny. Not quite going to land as JayJ turns around on that one, but still pulled back in. Able to jump back out. Cloud9 maybe solving their late game woes despite having a comp that might just get outscaled. FlyQuest giving some space, and with a 7,000 gold lead, Cloud9 are sieging.
And scaling matters very little when your opponents are mis-executing so heavily, right?
Yeah.
You know, they're choosing a fight where it's essentially a 4v1 on Turtle, and you're trying to TP in and save them. That's not a real fight. That's not a true test of a champion's strength at this point in the game, and they are extending their lead. FlyQuest has chosen some very bad locations to fight, not really been able to find the ones they want, and as a result, Cloud9 certainly ahead and has the tools that they need to close out this game and get their second win of the season.
Here we go, the siege towards this top turret. Tier 2 is going to fall without much of an issue. Let's see if another big hook can come through. A bone skewer to knock down FlyQuest and pierce their wings. Channeling, looking for the play, and who's it going to be? Looks like nobody for this one, but an inhib turret is still going to be given away. Even the threat forcing them to back off, and now engaging as the turret's already fallen, flashing right back out onto the team, and Keane is in the middle of the squad, but Licorice buying a ton of time, and they will be able to burn down this Jarvan. 1-for-0 death from below, claiming extra gold onto that one. Now looking for a cleaver to land to find a second kill, not yet going to happen, as FlyQuest run away, and the inhibitor is going to fall, but the wave's already there in the mid lane, so a quick rotation for Cloud9, looking now at their second inhibitor turret to kill. Wave pretty thin at this point, but they will still get the second turret. They will still get a second inhibitor on this Baron. Still a minute to go on this. They might continue to keep sieging as they are very far forward on this. They choose to clear the wave, and then they will finally back out, but that's 3 turrets all in the same siege.
Yeah, and 10k gold up now. They can even head down to bot side, clear out all these jungle camps, push in, get another outer turret, take the dragon. There's so much on the table here for Cloud9, and really looking strong in these kind of late moments of this game.
So right now, about 7,000 unspent gold on Cloud9. They're going to go for bot lane tier 2, though, and FlyQuest are not in range to stop this, so it's not going to be much of a risk. Cloud Drake on the map, also inhibitor turret still available to be attacked, and C9 will indeed choose to stay with heavy pockets and keep sieging because Baron buff is timing out. Slightly risky, but probably the right play for them as they look for the next little opening. Not going to find too much just yet as Licorice push back, waiting for Result to come back from cooldown. As the siege pushes on in, this turret going to take quite a bit of damage. 20 seconds left in the Baron buff, but the turret should fall first. FlyQuest yet to get into that fight. The flashback not going to matter. JayJ goes down after casting the ultimate. The inhibitor going to be dropping, and Cloud9 still staying for the siege to break their curse of throwing in the late game. They might finally close one out here. A 1-5 scoreline as the inhibitors are all gone. They are staying in the base, saying this time we are not going to give away the opportunity. A 5v4 siege with Baron buff on. They're going to knock down that first Nexus turret. Dunk in the back line, a flag and drag right back out. Flame doesn't want this one. Now on the right-hand side, they have knocked down Kindred. 5 versus 3. Keane in the mix. A shotgun gets the 2 backline as WildTurtle is going to fall. And a double kill for Licorice. A Sneaky has made his way back into the roster, and Cloud9 will be 1-0 with him. They will finally get themselves a win. C9 2-5. After so many weeks of losses, have not tossed away this lead. They will close the game out 16-5. C9 tie for 9.
And let the run begin here for Cloud9. They're going to need to go about 8-4 in the rest of this split if they want to try to make that playoffs. And
yeah,
one
that's
win on the board.
7-4, I think the bare minimum, and it might require more than that in the coming weeks. We just know that 9-9 has never missed. But I believe 11 wins was a cutoff last split, and you just have to wait and see what it all comes down to. Either way, a long road ahead for this squad. Up-and-coming challenger, bot laner Sneaky, the Morgana one-trick, has made Cloud9 undefeated on his stead in summer.
100% win rate in summer for Sneaky there. And the game really wasn't about him, and it was surprising to see him on that mage, when they're swapping back in their kind of traditional marksman player. You'd expect him to be in the bot lane on a marksman. He was not. Played well on the Morgana, but really the game felt much more kind of about the top side of the map. Licorice getting so far ahead, the Jarvan being completely worthless the whole game. I mean, Flame was really not able to get much of anything done whatsoever. I mean, Flame did less damage than the Braum, less damage than the Pyke. 0, 2, and 1 really not involved in anything. And, it just didn't feel like FlyQuest chose the right fights, and they weren't able to execute on the fights when they took them. I mean, I think their composition was good. I think that they, did a lot of good things in the early stages, but, all committing to try to save Turtle on the top side of the map in
huge blunder.
A 4v1. By the time they get there, he's already dead anyway. The Galio has no health by the time the rest of the people get there. Like, those aren't fights that you can win. You just have to cut your losses at times. And, even the execution on the mid lane 3v3 where they try to choose the fight and aren't able to really do anything there. Yeah, definitely some errors and some things that FlyQuest will want back in this game.
Definite blunders from FlyQuest. There were some positives, of course, as well. WildTurtle and JayJ were a great laning combo. Definitely some good things came out from the squad, but yes, outclassed today. Cloud9, you kind of talk about them, of course, a little bit as well. Finally figuring out a way to make the late game things happen. It's been a constant revolving door of roster moves. The top and jungle stayed the same, but they've played every other permutation of bot laners and mid laners as well. This one, okay, is a 1-0 record, but still not the cleanest of games. Some mistakes, the somewhat of a throw maybe coming into their favor as well. So jury's still out on Cloud9, but at least this is a win.
Yeah, it definitely is. And, good playmaking from Jensen, from Sven, and from Zeyzal, and might be seeing more of the same Cloud9 roster.
Seems likely we'll see him in Sunday, most likely. But now for more on that victory, let's hand it off to Ovly and Cloud9's new bot laner.
Thanks, guys. Sneaky, welcome back. All of your fans have missed you. Was your first game back everything that you hoped it would be?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I just played Morgana, threw some black pools, some black shields, some bindings. It was pretty chill.
Now you're coming back at kind of a low point for Cloud9. This is one of the slowest starts that the team has had. Are you feeling any pressure right now to pull the team through with a miracle run?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of pressure. I know that we can only afford a few losses. I think it's like 3 is probably the breaking point. Like if we lose 3 games, then it's really hard for us to make playoffs. So it's kind of weird. Like, I come back into LCS, it's like, okay, you lose 3 games, you can't get into playoffs. It's super weird for me because we started 1-5. But yeah, I hope we can just keep on trying to improve and break it through.
So what took you so long to get back here?
I don't know. I mean, I was just playing scrims, and then they wanted to try the other side with, Golden, Keith, and stuff, and Zeyzal. This is pretty cool. I'm not entirely sure exactly about everything that goes on, because I think it's mainly with, the staff. So not as much the players' decision. So kind of just sitting back and looking around, seeing what they do. It's like, oh, smoothie today.
Well, you're here playing with everyone today. What do you think of this current roster?
It's pretty good. I think with all the games we played the last 2 weeks, since Rift Rivals was going on, I've enjoyed the time. I mean, I was playing Academy scrims as well, and they're really cool guys too, especially Blabberfish. He's really good. But yeah, this roster is really good as well. We've been playing each other as well, some triple blocks, trying to understand the meta the best, because it's so all over the place, and I think this roster does really well.
Last question for you. Clearly, everyone has missed you. Did you miss them, and do you have anything to say to the fans who are waiting for your return?
Yeah, I miss you guys.
Well, Sneaky, congratulations and thank you again. And for more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Avli. Good to see Sneaky back on that stage as Cloud9 picks up a much-needed victory, looking to make a run towards playoffs. We've already kind of talked about what needs to happen in order for them to get there, and this is the good way to start off with Sneaky coming back into the lineup. Right there in the interview, though, he talks about triple blocking in scrims to try and figure out the meta. Well, it seems like their read on the meta is Quadra AP and a Pyke.
Well, I also like how he said, oh yeah, I came back, played Morgana, did some stuff, was pretty troll. Because you can also say, if you're gonna play Morgana, maybe you should have Golden Glue in the game. Because Sneaky, he played effectively. He definitely didn't make mistakes, but he wasn't the reason that they won this game.
Right.
No, I think FlyQuest was, because I don't really like this draft at all. You can say, why are you drafting this with, if you have Sneaky, put Golden Glue. I'm saying, why are you drafting this at all? I don't think this is a great comp. It's all magic damage. They had a lot more opportunities on the FlyQuest side to build MR. You saw Keane starting to build his Zonias as they were losing the game. What the hell is that? And it's one of those things where if the game went late, it should very heavily favor FlyQuest because there's a lack of magic damage, and maybe the Mundo becomes completely unkillable. But with double marksman, I think they would be eventually able to chew through it.
Right.
And there was a lot of mistakes on the FlyQuest side that, when the game was kind of close, allowed it to slip away.
Yeah, primarily magic damage that is only really effective if you outpace the enemy team and if they build ineffectively, which is essentially what they did. So I do want to dive into some of the replays, though, because ultimately Cloud9 did come away with the victory, which means they had to do a number of things right to outpace the enemy team.
Yeah, but look at the circumstances of this fight.
Right.
WildTurtle's running down the top lane, and then everyone on FlyQuest actually opts into this fight, even though at best it's a 2v5 repeatedly as one person dies and the next person runs in. So Cloud9 easily wins this fight. They take Baron, and from there, they do a much better job of closing out the game than they had done previously, because we have to remember this is not the first time they've had a gold lead like this, but that's a situation where if the Galio has built more MR, if the Jarvan, who has done only 4.7 thousand damage, is building an adaptive helm instead of a stone plate against the all-magic damage team, there's a lot of things that could have happened for FlyQuest to be on a much more even ground with this Cloud9 squad.
Yeah, I mean, so Cloud9 obviously very happy that they were able to close that game out, because there have been a number of times before where they got a Baron, it felt like the game should be over, and then they lose a fight after getting that Baron. This time they actually closed it out, so a much better looking gold graph from them. I think they're playing better, but I still think they have a lot to learn from the meta.
Yeah, you see that insane exponential climb at the end of that gold graph. Keep that in mind as we pull up C9's gold graphs from the previous games they have played throughout this summer split.
Yeah, and even though they're a last place team, they've actually been the second best early game team. You can see about 3/4 of the way down the graph, that's 0 gold. So in most of their games, they have been winning. And previously, in only one of those games, did they actually win. And part of it is from the team compositions they've been drafting that have been very similar to the team composition we saw today, where they don't have good plans for killing turrets or killing tanks, and it's been very much about, well, if we snowball and if we burst, then sure we can win. But as soon as one thing goes wrong, it doesn't work. In this game, that thing didn't necessarily go wrong for C9, and they're able to win, but I agree with Mark that that's a pretty dangerous way to play if, like Sneaky said, you can only lose 3 to 4 games for the rest of the split, or you miss Worlds.
Right. I mean, you look at that Echo Fox game, it was the same exact thing except an Aurelia instead of a Mundo up in the top side. And they had this super, like, protect the Aurelia funnel comp, and Echo Fox was a better team than FlyQuest. They scrapped them out and eventually got that game back here. FlyQuest never found a winning fight, but if they did, it's probably a similar story.
Right, and this is where, just briefly, I do believe we have to take a critical eye and look towards FlyQuest here for exactly that there were probably a number of things they could have done here to slow Cloud9's roll and perhaps extend the game to a point where they can win it.
Yeah, like there's this a play where Keane face-checked a brush, got picked off as a result, did a fair amount of damage, and could have lived if he was just building earlier MR. Instead, he was in the midst of building an Oblivion Orb to try and get to those grievous wounds when Lucian already has it, and if you're ever going to get in a 5v5, you know he's going to be applying those stacks. It was just one of those things where the whole team did not feel like they were working together on the side of FlyQuest.
Right, and the final thing I want to talk about here, Jarvan into Mundo. We've seen it a couple times today.
Yeah.
I'm really struggling with where this matchup goes in favor of Jarvan.
So yeah, we saw 2 teams do it today.
Yeah.
And that usually means that it was finding success in scrims. I will say that the Jarvan, probably up until 20-25 minutes, will have a better team fight than Mundo.
Okay.
Because he's going to build a lot of early damage and burst, and that'll take about 75% of his Squishy's health if he lands his EQR combo. And if you can snowball that to victory, it's successful. However, you're missing your EQs. That's going to change things a lot, and then the Mundo was able to outscale. So it's a different game on stage, obviously, and that's what we saw today.
Yeah, there's something to say. Maybe you can lock up a Morgana. It's one of the few CCs, the Cataclysm, that just stops Black Shield, so you don't have to worry about breaking the Black Shield before you CC. Same with Mundo. You get to lock him down so that he can't just run around where he pleases.
Right.
I understand that a little bit, but it doesn't look good enough to justify the Mundo pick when you could pick a GP or a Darius.
GP and Darius are the big ones that we're pointing to look for something else. Now, before we call it a day, let's take a look at the standings. First place now belongs only to 100 Thieves and Team Liquid, while Counterlogic Gaming, Echo Fox, and TSM all share third at 4 and 3. However, if we look back at the predictions from earlier in the show,
Bad day.
it was a tough day for you guys. Jad still over that 50% mark with the 3 and 2.
Is he though?
In the
Yeah,
face of
that's
the CLG. You tell me whether or not that's a victory for.
Yeah,
it's a victory.
Jad's
when you
taking
get
those
that
this
one.
I'm counting it.
It will bring you slightly closer in the season totals. This one is looking to be about as tight a race as last
It's
split
been
was.
topsy-turvy this split. I think our percentages are lower. Last split, we predicted just over 60%.
Right.
We're struggling to keep a 50-50 so far. There have been a ton of upsets in the first 4 weeks.
RIP Freak,
It's
2
been
and 3, as
incredibly
well
hard.
as Dead on
And
the
he's
Desk.
gone
My goodness,
forever.
man. People
So-
dropping like flies. I'm worried for the next person that gets brought onto the countdown. Now, here's the thing. Teams have an opportunity to further climb the standings in our schedule presented by Jersey Mike Subs. Game 1 has Golden Guardians and 100 Thieves squaring off on Summoner's Rift, with TSM and Echo Fox duking it out later in the day, followed by Counterlogic Gaming versus Cloud9 in Game 4. A reminder that if you have any questions for NALCS Commissioner Christopher Greeley, tweet at LL Esports and we'll present your queries during the show tomorrow. If this much league isn't enough, stay tuned for the EU LCS rebroadcast going live right after. Did you break
He
the
broke
curtain?
both off. He's trying to hide it.
My goodness.
Yeah,
Have
has
some
this one
respect
too.
for the dead.
It's not glued on very well. I will say that.
So instantly you start flaming the producer's
Right.
craftsmanship
Yeah, this
rather than
isn't-
like maybe
it's not your fault for how you
I thought you
handled
could
it.
really lift it from these
Yeah,
things. I'm
right?
amazed you can't.
Oh, my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's going to do it for us here today. So for myself, the cast, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for more of the NALCS. Good night.
Please, turn the lights on.
Riot thinks we're basement dwellers. Should I have gone?
Come out.
Bro, you got 2 pieces. Where'd it go?
Accidentally, I threw it.
Tayo and Harmon, tayo. Flash, no flash. Here's Chunya. Blow it.
I flashed it.
Come on, Zaya.
Yeah.
You got it.
Go on,
Nice.
Taunter of Bjergsen versus the world. But that world is crashing down around them as Hotzer goes down. The roster might be new, but the Thieves are up to their same old tricks. Nice bind, but that's going to be Apollo dropping down. He's crashed. And look at the trade kills. Context is low, goes for a couple of hits, but he's not going to take enough damage. Almost going to land, but still wishes down to the chase. Is in. That is a great flash.
He's gonna have to like run.
He's going to go for it.
Going in.
He gets the wish. The bleed is enough. God.
Oh, I'm dead. You guys can win. You guys can win. There's no flash. There's no flash. Nice, we win.
Alright, kick the brain checked up.
I'm still running.
Kindred.
No flash, right? I'm here.
No flash.
I have ulti, Galio. I have ulti, so I'm invincible. They can't kill me. They can't kill me.
Making a stop damage until he actually goes down for real on top of the wall. Oh, that was a super sick pull. Sneaky has made his way back into the roster, and Cloud9 will be 1-0 with him. They will finally get themselves a win. C9 2-5.
I'm really not good, Mr. using.
No flash, no flash. She's really useless. She has no mana.
No flash, no flash.
Help me, help me, help me, help me.
Dodge it, don't go dodge it, baby!
Nice.
Nice. How do you know flash?
Now to the back lane comes the Crow from a surprise party for TL as Impact is chasing down for a Kane, and he cannot be killed. He's just chasing forward, and the headbutt gets the kill.
Darshan goes forward with the flash. Remember, the green is blue means the dunk comes down.
No flash. No flash. No flash. No. Nice. Holy. Watch out. There's dead. Play there. Help that shot. Oh my god, let's go. Go. Oh my god, kill that shot. Go. Hurry is mine. Right there.
Darshan goes to the fight here against Dardoch. More damage coming in from Huhi. And the dunk is there. All Tech finds himself on the ground yet again, and the next